I've just been told at the door that they're not allowing people inside the court today. They are going to broadcast the case, the hearing, online instead. There's quite a lot of people outside here anyway, just for now, waiting to hear what is happening. So let me update you as I find out more. Hi, sorry, do you mind me asking, why are you here?
I'm waiting to submit my submissions.
To meet?
I'm waiting to submit my submissions.
Aha, okay.
So I'm waiting for a clerk.
Aha.
Yeah, we are not supposed to enter inside.
We are not supposed to enter yet. No, no. Are you here because of the court case of Mutemi, or
No.
no? Nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with that.
Oh, okay.
I work with a law firm,
Uh-huh.
so we are directed by the judge
Okay.
to submit hard copy of submissions.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good luck. Okay. Sorry about this. I'm just going to try and find out if we are able to go inside and access Mutemi somehow. Bear with me. Hi. Can we come in to view the proceeding? Yeah.
There's no court case.
There is no court case at 9 a.m. There is
There's no physical court case.
no physical at 9. How
It's going
come?
on online.
How come? Yes, I am press. Yeah, I am press. So that's why I'm interested in knowing this. Can you let me know why, or?
Let me ask you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, how are you? Good. I just wanted to come into the hearing at 9 a.m.
Which court?
The court for Mutemi.
Hearing mentioned.
The hearing, they are going to give the verdict at 9 a.m. today. They left it last night until this morning. Thank you. Thank you.
Umeshainstall Microsoft.
Sasa kuinstall ndio inashindwa.
Kwa Play Store.
Niende kuinstall simu inasumbua. Sasa
Oh, yeah.
We're waiting to hear. We might have to restart the broadcast a bit later, depending on what they say. But hopefully we can get inside, or perhaps hopefully access to Mutemi to interview him. I apologize for any technical difficulties this morning. I have not been on Hubs for over a year, and it's all changed a little bit, so I'm figuring it out how it's working now again. So bear with me, but this is an important bit of news. I will update you a little bit on what it's all about. So Mutemi Wakiyama is an online activist here in Kenya. He has recently posted some things, some posts on his website and Instagram called Wanjiko Revolution. I will write it in the text in a minute. basically criticizing the current government for taking on a loan from IMF. Um, Kenyan people believe this, they're really worried about this because they believe that this loan will simply end up in the usual pockets and they will end up paying the price with raising taxes, etc., etc. So they're very much against this, and so there's a lot of activity on social media addressing this issue. People complaining and saying that there was no a fair public hearing or opinion on this decision before it was made as part of the process of accepting the loan, and therefore now it's been approved and it's happening, and they are really worried. So Mutemi in his website posted quite a lot of comments on this, like complaining about this loan, about the IMF giving the loan, about the government asking for it, and about the fear of consequences that people have here for their everyday livelihood. There were some other posts, obviously in a just comedy tone, which perhaps are a little bit controversial. However, there is freedom of speech in the Kenyan constitution, and therefore we're here in court where they are going to make a decision over whether he has broken the law by posting this, by the way that he posted it, or what he posted, or the consequences this post may have. For, I mean, they're kind of arguing that the post is endangering the president, etc. And so here we are at 9 a.m. They're going to give the verdict on whether he will continue being arrested. He's been in jail since not last night, the night before. We will find out whether he's going to continue staying arrested or how long for, or whether they're going to let him go. And this is why we're here today at Milimani Courts in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm going to see whether they have an answer for me now, okay? And then we can talk to some people. It seems there's a lot of people here, but not related to this case so far. Let's see. Thank you. Okay, we're going in. Asante. We're in. Hello.
Hello, Marimana.
Very good. Very good. Do I need to sign in?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
You have a machine?
Sorry?
Machine?
Machine?
Laptop?
No, no laptop.
It's okay.
No laptop. Okay. We are in. We are in the court. I'm gonna let you see what I see for now. Just going through the machines. So bear with me, please. Oh, sorry. I forgot. That's why I forgot this. Oh, now I don't have any. Oh, the earrings. Ay, Nicolás. Asante, asante. They are Masai, eh? Me, I'm going to, Mutemi, Watiama, you know which court he's in? Yes.
Outside the tennis.
Out this bit.
This
Oh, I go that side.
Yes.
Ah, Pole, I thought it was here. So I go out and right.
Yes.
Ah,
Let me show
sawa,
you the
sawa.
plans.
Asante sana.
Kucha nikuonyeshe.
Asante, asante. Nionyeshe. Baadaye, baadaye. Oh, Pole. Okay, so, whoops.
Sorry.
Just getting to the court now.
We set it on the 10th.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
Yes.
And sio tajiri bado.
Bado.
Sawa.
time yet.
Itaanza saa tatu. Sawa. Asante sana. Okay, so I have found the court. We are now here. I think we're a little bit early. They're running a little bit late. So it's meant to start at 9. I think it's gonna be between 9 and 9:30. Let's just have a look at the court. They're doing an open court. So here we are. That's where the proceedings will take place. All right. I think we might be a little bit early, but we're going to continue. There's very few people here. Let me go and find out who they are. And can you please let me know if you can hear me properly. So we can check while we wait that is all going well. Please feel free to chat here while we wait about this issue. Okay. Okay, so we are, I repeat, broadcasting live from the Milimani court in Nairobi. Waiting to hear about the verdict on Mutemi. Wow. Might. Okay. Hi. Hi. How are you? The verdict today or?
No, I'm here. I have another matter.
Oh, okay. All right. And it's going to be here as well? Okay. Thank you. Hi. Are you here to hear about Mutami? You are not? Okay. That's correct. Nobody else here for now. So, thanks. Yeah, it's all pretty quiet. The reasons for this, I do not know. I know he's been silenced online. I know there has been, they've taken his phone. He's been in jail for the last day and a half. There's a few organizations who I've been in touch with who are supporting him. So he's supposed to have been allocated some lawyers. And we will see what they can do. Apparently, I was hearing earlier that there's been like a whole bunch of arrests following his arrest. He was arrested and later released and then rearrested yesterday. A further 19 arrests I've heard have been going on as well since. I am really keen to see when his lawyer comes to talk to them and see what they have to say. I was expecting more people here, to be fair, but I guess it is a difficult situation, and yeah, that's why the government has reacted so strongly, arresting somebody for posting something on social media. There have been comments and mentions of him, trying to start a revolution, or that, making comments that could lead to revolution. I'm gonna just look at his Wanjiko Revolution page, just to show you. Okay, it's 10 to 9, so it's still early days. Still early days. We have, here we are. So the actual post, I'm just going to read it out loud while we wait so that we are a bit more informed on the situation. So he posted, his posts are just shares of other people generally, but there's one that he posted, which is imitating a poster of public notice. And in this public notice, it has the picture of the president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And then it has a note saying, "This is to notify the world at large that the person whose photograph and names appear above is not authorized to act or transact on behalf of the citizens of the Republic of Kenya, and that the nation and our future generations shall not be held liable for any penalties of bad loans negotiated and or borrowed by him." In this, made up to seem like a public notice, he is referring to the IMF loan that has recently been granted to the government of Kenya by the IMF. And is expressing the concern of many Kenyans when they worry about the consequences of borrowing such large amounts of money, especially at a time when the country's in lockdown and people are really struggling to make ends meet and to just to survive, really. So this is so following this post, Mutemi got arrested. Not last night, the night before. I heard in the morning through the grapevine. I have been following. First, he was arrested. There was no charge initially. He was released, then he was rearrested. The charges have been changing. I'm going to read to you some of these charges. And let me see. I'm going to read you from my communications. Okay, so basically, he has been charged with sharing false information. They are trying to, or there is a possibility they may change this charge for one where the sharing of the photograph of the president, they claim that it threatened the office of the president, and therefore they are trying to keep him jailed for 14 days so that they can go through all of his electronic gadgets, i.e. computer, laptop, phone, etc., anything that may have any kind of compromising evidence or anything that they can use against him, it seems. So today will determine whether Mutemi will continue in jail or whether he will be released. And it will be up to the judge to decide this. It's now 10 to 9. 9 o'clock is the time of the hearing. I will continue updating you with further background information on this situation and this case up to the point of the verdict. And hopefully some more people will be arriving soon, that we can actually get a comment from as well. Perhaps fellow activists, perhaps the lawyers. Let's see who makes it here this morning. I mean, the lack of sort of public support right here inside the courts. So milimani, I came inside the courts. I'm here inside the courts. I'm actually going to make sure that you're looking at what I'm looking rather than my face. Sorry about that. As I say, I have not been reporting on HAPS for well over a year. And when I got back onto it today, because I wanted to broadcast this story, as I believe is a very important story for many reasons. There's some people coming here. In this story, we are looking at issues to do with freedom of speech. We are looking at issues to do with how we deal with global financial matters at the level, and I believe at the level of, I believe he has Mutemi. Let's try and talk to him then. Yes, here he is. He's arriving. Okay. Hello. Hi. How are you? Hi, Mutemi. Yeah. Well, I know friends of friends, and I follow his work. Would you mind just talking to people just to say why you're here, or yourself? Later? Okay, great. I'm just broadcasting live to the world the proceedings. Thank you. Yes, we will have a chance to talk to Mutemi later. For now, we are going to just watch the proceedings, see what the outcome is. Okay, so while we wait for the judge to arrive, we have here Mutemi with his lawyers. While we hear for the judge to arrive, while we wait, let's just go back to our information we were talking about. Further to this, let me just say it's an organization called Congamano Lamageuzi. They have made a public statement wishing to condemn this act of what they term repression, by arresting Mutemi, and they actually are calling out and saying that 19 more they call comrades outside the nation center of the Communist Party of Kenya this morning. This was last night. Yesterday, this was released. So they are condemning police oppression activities following the arrest of Mutemi, and these other 19 19 people. They are mentioned. They are demanding the immediate and unconditional release of all the members, as well as Mutemi. Let's see. Let's see what. Let's see what they have to say. So it is now 3 minutes to 9. I am hoping. I'm hoping the judge will be here soon, and we can start broadcasting the proceedings. I am going to prepare an actual camera to film this proceeding properly as well. I thought there would be more people here. I thought there would be more people here. Today, I mean, I thought.
There's not much.
No. Do you know the reason for this, or maybe they are not allowed to come in, or?
No, people are just late. Late. People are late.
Oh, they are late. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Yes, sorry, I'm Nekane, I'm press. So I'm covering the case. Um, Hi. Are you here for Mutami's case as well? Who do you work for? NTV. Right. You too? No. Okay. Oh, just a visitor. Great. Well, let's see how I'm an independent. Today I'm covering for HAPS. It's an online citizen journalism site, global. So yeah, it's global. Yeah, well, I guess wherever you are, there are always news. So
Tomorrow you can be in South Africa.
that would be ideal, right?
Anywhere where there is news.
Where there is news, yes, indeed, indeed. Great. Um, okay, I am just going to set up a proper camera to film the actual verdict for a story. So please bear with me. I won't be long. I'm just here. We're still waiting for the judge. Oh, this is. I will come back with you as soon as the judge arrives. Quick recap, we are here following the case, the verdict that is coming out this morning, following Mutemi's arrest. We're waiting for the judge to arrive. He's gonna give his verdict. It's 9:02 now. We're hoping the hearing will start soon. Right now, there's very few people here. It's Mutemi with his lawyers, myself, and a couple other people who are doing other business, it seems. There's a bit of press as well. A couple of journalists are here. Yes, we're still waiting, and we're hoping to be able to talk to Mutemi or his lawyer with an update following the proceedings. Please bear with us. I will continue updating you as things develop. Mm. I the Mutemi's lawyer just said he wanted to talk after the proceedings, but I'm gonna try and see whether he can just give us a brief summary of the charges and what we as soon as the judge arrives. Some more people arriving, but really very few people. It seems everyone is running a bit late this morning. Let's see. Hi. Sorry. Would you be able to just let people know what we will,
I can at the moment.
or whatever you can say, like what they charged with yesterday, or what the rest of they're gonna to have a verdict on, or just like why we're here, just why we're here.
This is the
Uh,
investigating officer.
oh, I see. Okay, okay, okay.
When
So
my
we're
lawyers come, they can speak to you.
oh, okay, okay, great. Thank you. Just to let people know what's happening. Thank you
Said
so
you're
much.
with which organization?
I'm independent, but today I'm broadcasting for Hubs, and I'm also like I'd like to, if possible, film an interview with you for a package that I'm trying to pitch to other media like Vice, The Guardian, Al Jazeera. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to get the story broad if possible, but we will see how it goes.
Definitely speak to you after.
Okay, we'll talk after. Thank you.
Which country do you come from?
I am an international citizen of the world.
Italian.
No, no, definitely not Italian. Thank you. Okay, so we will hear from the lawyers when they come. Just for now, I wish I had somebody in the studio to bounce from because at the moment it is a bit of a waiting time. I will continue updating you with further information as I get it.
Morning.
Habari yako?
This is mirrors.
Hmm?
A nice camera.
Yes. Ndio.
Yes, yes. Hizi vitu zangu sio kama zako. Hizi ni waterproof. Good man. I'm good.
I am setting up a camera for the verdict. I believe the lawyer has arrived now. Okay, please bear with me. I'm still setting up. Okay, I'm just setting up to record this. I believe the lawyer has arrived. Let's come and see what's happening. Oh, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Yeah, I was just, could you perhaps just tell us why we're here today?
Yes, yesterday the prosecution have filed an application seeking to detain Mr. Kiama for 14 days as they investigate. We argued, we opposed that application, but we argued until about 4 o'clock because of the previous delay in the course of the day yesterday. So the magistrate is expected to give us a ruling today to say whether she is agreeing with us and dismiss the application and release him, or whether she's going to agree with them and then detain him for any number of days, including the 14 days beyond.
Okay, so today
What the court decision is.
what the decision is. Okay, thank you very much. Maybe I'll just talk to you afterwards when we hear the result. Good luck. Okay, so as we have heard, we are here waiting on the decision. Um, we can see Mutemi with his lawyer. Hello, Lini from the USA. How are you? Nice to hear somebody out there following. I'm sorry it has been a bit of a slow morning, but we should be starting kicking in very soon. I will quickly update you. Mutemi is sitting there with his lawyer. Okay, yes, so maybe you have just joined us, so let me update you. Couple of nights ago, okay, sorry, I'm filming a couple of things, so a couple of nights ago, Mutemi, a Kenyan online activist, was arrested. He was arrested following his posting of a poster that was condemning the application and approval of an IMF loan for Kenya. The aim of the loan is meant to help pay debts governmental debts to China and other places, and also to help with the coronavirus situation. However, a lot of Kenyans share the sentiment that this is not a good idea because they worry that corruption will mean for other purposes, and then the average Kenyan will be having to pay the price of taxation, etc., in other ways, when they are already under strain due to the coronavirus restrictions. We're in lockdown here. So working is increasingly difficult. Yeah. Mutemi, as an activist, he holds this Instagram account called Wanjiku Revolution, and he posted a poster which I read earlier. Let me just read it for you again so that you can get an idea of what started all this. Why we're here in the Milimani court in Nairobi this morning, waiting to hear whether Mutemi will be charged and stay in jail for a further 14 days or will be released. He posted this poster in Wanjiku Revolution, Kenya, which is like imitating a poster for a public notice. It has the picture of the president with his ID number and whole name included. And it reads, "This is to notify the world at large that the person whose photograph and names appear above is not authorized to act or transact on behalf of the citizens of the Republic of Kenya, and that the nation and our future generations shall not be held liable for any penalties or bad loans negotiated and or borrowed by him." That's the culprit. And following this posting, he was arrested. He was later released, then rearrested, and he's been in jail for a couple of nights. And he's here now in the Milimani court. I will cut to the judiciary. They're having an open court today, so it's not inside the court building, which you see there. It is instead in this open outside court so that the public can attend. And here we are, a few people, members of the public, some members of the press, and Mutemi and his lawyers. And we're waiting for the judge. We're still here waiting for the judge. So shortly we will hear the verdict. Yes, it is. The court is an open court. That's why it's outside. And that tent, the actual building is there in the background. But this is where they hold the open proceedings, where there is public interest. Such is the case today. Such is the case today. Okay. So if they charge him, I've just been told by his lawyer that they will keep him for 14 days whilst they go through all his personal gadgets like laptops, computers, etc., which I imagine would help to incriminate him further in other charges or not. We will see. We will see what happens. So far, he has been held in jail for a couple of nights, and this is what we know for now. Now, there's a couple of issues here at hand, which are, first of all, the issue of freedom of speech, and which exists in the Kenyan constitution. There is freedom of speech. And of course, this is a topic much talked about around social media, not just by him, but by a lot of people talking about this subject in social media. Um, and then, of course, there is the topic of the IMF loan, um, which is a bit of a more complicated issue because it talks about um, corruption, misuse of funds, it questions the involvement of the international community in national country matters, etc., etc., etc. Do you want my personal opinion? My personal opinion is I am a defender of freedom of speech, of course. What the judge will be deciding on is whether, in any way, what he did could, they say perhaps he could have endangered. Let's see what he's saying. Mhm. More people are arriving. More people are arriving. Okay. Maybe things will start to happen now. Anytime, yeah? Anytime, anytime. So we're getting ready for the arrival of the judge, and we will soon hear the verdict. I just need to remove my things from the bench just now. Sorry, I'm just having to move my stuff over to the side. I am currently covering this on my own. I'm also with no studio support, so apologies. We have been here for an hour already broadcasting. It seems that the proceedings are about to kick off. Oh, thank you so much for the support, Lynn. Um, I think this should be starting very, very, very soon. And after the verdict, I will be hoping to get a quick word from Temi and his lawyer, who are currently convening whilst we wait. Some local media here, some members of the public just arrived. Hi, you came to hear the verdict? You came to hear the verdict? Different? Oh, okay. So there's a number of cases being dealt with this morning. Okay, I see. Okay, well, good luck to you. Um, lawyers preparing. Ah, hello. Are you here for the execution? Miss Linus. Yes. Okay, thank you. I am just setting up the camera to record the actual verdict as it is released. Okay, we should be there very, very soon. Thank you for your patience. Um, like I mentioned earlier, I had not done any coverings for hubs for over a year, and when I heard this story yesterday, and I decided it needed some covering. Okay, they're calling him. I just got into it, and it seems to have changed quite a bit. But anyway, here we are. I need to go silent. The proceedings are commencing.
Morning. I haven't seen him.
Okay, we are.
He's scheduled to appear yesterday with the Evelyn Lunga. This morning I haven't seen him. I've been here since about 8:45. I will have Frederick's number. Can you call him? here, I'm calling brief from Mama Karua as well for the respondent. We are prepared to take it.
So before me is a notice of motion application dated 7th of April, which is supported by the affidavit of one Corporal Patrick Kibowen, a police officer attached at DCI Central Nairobi. It is also dated 7th of April 2021. Attached to it is one annexure marked Exhibit PK1. The application prays for 4 orders. Number 1, it should be heard on priority basis. Number 2, custodial orders being issued that the respondents be held for 14 days. Number 3, court be pleased to issue any other orders. And number 4, prayers that there be no cost to the application. The application was argued by Mr. Riungu, who appeared together with Ms. Olunga and Mr. Kimathi for the state. The respondent was presented by the senior counsels, Mother Karua and Mr. Dundi. The two for the respondent proposed the application orally on the following grounds, mainly as summarized. Number 1, the respondent had not committed a known offense, rather he exercised his rights in accordance with the Constitution. Number 2, no compelling reasons had been adduced for detention of the respondent. Number 3, the provisions of the law as cited in the application were erroneous. Number 4, police had already obtained the requisite evidence from the respondent in terms of his laptops and mobile phones. 5, accused rights under the Constitution were being infringed for his continued detention. And 6, the respondent had been previously incarcerated and released on bond in similar circumstances. I have considered the following. Number 1, the provisions of Article 49, Article 25, Article 29, Article 132, Article 50, and Article 159 of the Constitution as referred to by parties. Number 2, I've also considered all other laws as referred to by the parties, that is the Criminal Procedure Code, Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act, where interestingly, as I researched under the Petition 206 of 2019, that is BAKE, EAKE versus AG 2020. Justice Macau held that the act was valid and dismissed the same petition. The other thing I've considered is the Constitution. 5, the case that was cited by Mr. Ingrid. Maybe I should give you the full citation. I did some research. Sudi Oscar Tumba versus Republic 2020 DKLR, which I'll discuss later. I also considered a precedent that was provided by the state, Republic versus Dr. Mayande and 3 others, 2012. So in my determination, I have considered the arguments of the parties in open court, and I'm persuaded to look deeply into the law. In the first case of Sudi Oscar Tumba, the matter was before the courts, and the person, the applicant, is a member of parliament. He had been alleged to have committed several offences, which included hate speech, assault police officer, possession of firearm, offensive conduct, and resisting arrest. The same MP had been placed in custody for 7 days before going to the High Court, and had approached the High Court for a revision of the same orders. I've looked at the law that was given by the state, that is Dr. Mayande. The issues at hand in that case are that the 4 accused persons had already been charged in court and had been denied bond, and approached the High Court for revision of bond terms. Independently, I've also looked at Chris Philip Obure versus Republic 2020. This was a decision done by Justice Wakiaga, where the applicant had been detained for 12 days by the law court and had gone to the High Court for a revision. Justice Wakiaga said that the state has a right to investigate offences and use all reasonable mechanisms at its disposal, and the rights of the applicant must always be safeguarded and limited only by the Constitution. So in contrast in this matter, I find that there are two issues that I must determine. The first one is, are there compelling reasons advanced to detain the respondent with the police while investigations are proceeding? And number two, has the state obtained control of sufficient evidence or control of the crime scene in containing that evidence? So I'll discuss the compelling reasons. I looked at section 36A of the Criminal Procedure Code as cited by parties. I will not repeat the four points. They're here, you will see them. I will state that that liberty is precious to any person in Kenya and must be safeguarded at all costs. However, the law also provides circumstances when that liberty can be limited. The state, through the affidavit dated 7th April, explains the reason why they seek those 14 days detention. In this instance, the key objective is to balance the rights of the respondent and the rights of justice, public order, peace, and security. It is a fact, as confirmed by the respondents, that the post that was addressed by the respondent in paragraph 5 got over 200,000 views in a short span, although not addressed what span. It is also a fact that although I'm a judicial officer, I'm also a citizen of this great country and alive to the current affairs of the nation. And the alleged investigations could be said to be creating public opinions that, if not controlled, may be tantamount to not only ridicule and disrespect of national values and interests, also peace and order of the country. Although as confirmed that the previous detention of the respondent was based on different facts and circumstances, this court will be alive to the fact that he was not charged in that court, and therefore his detention is not based on a breach of conditions of release. In addition, he was arrested in a known place for a second time, and the witnesses in these investigations are yet to be established by the police. The complexity of this investigation is also well explained, noting that the cybercrime officers will generate reports and work closely with other agencies in retrieving information and seeking out witnesses. Having analyzed the foregoing, I find that the state has not granted compelling reasons to warrant the detention of the respondent. In the second issue of control of the evidence, the police retrieved computers and mobile phones of the respondent. The decision by the respondent was whether to obtain the discussion by the respondent was whether obtaining of this equipment was lawful. I do find that this was in fact lawful and within the law as provided by section 16 of the National Police Service Act, as was correctly pointed out by the state. However, the question would be, does the state control the scene in which this crime has been committed, which is social media? I find that the state has machinery to block or to stop the usage of the two Twitter handles, that is Marimu Wakiama and Wajiko Revolution, which are accounts owned by Mutemi Wakiama and Wajiko Revolt. On the issue whether the annexure needs further investigation, I find in the affirmative. The police should indeed continue to investigate the true culprits of such alleged misinformation. In the foregoing, I find as follows. Number one, having considered the facts and the law and the arguments in court, the state has not adduced compelling reasons to warrant the detention of the respondent at this juncture. Although the police are acting in good faith, I also find that they have established prima facie evidence, as is addressed in the application. I order that instead of detention, the police ought to charge the respondent within a reasonable time. The application by the state therefore fails in its entirety. Number two, instead I will order that the respondent be admitted to a cash bail, a court cash bail of 500,000 with one contact person today, if possible. If not, it will be retained in custody. It does not post the bail today. A further condition is that the respondent shall not disturb the public peace and order by blogging through Twitter or any other social media accounts by himself or by his agents on matters to do with the president, Kenyan loans, respondents shall report to the investigating officer daily at 8 a.m. to assist investigations for the next 10 days, starting today until 18th April 2021, all days inclusive. Number 3, there will be a further mention in court number 17 on 20th of April at 9 a.m. physically for any further orders as directed. So you have a right of appeal of 14 days.
We are most obliged. You know, like, supply us the certificate copy of the bill.
We are grateful for your findings, except I would like to apply that Your Honor being brought with the jurisdiction and authority to review or revise your ruling, reconsider two things. One, having dismissed the application in its entirety, then there being no charge against the respondent, then the cash payment you have ordered to be posted is somewhat in contradiction to the order dismissing the application in its entirety. And therefore, I invite you to reconsider that and revise it and perhaps replace it with an order that he is released unconditionally unless discharged. Second, in the event that that prayer doesn't find great favor with you, considering its period of corona, that for the last this is the second year in which we are not really doing business is going down, the economy is suffering. The amount of money in cash that you have asked to be posted is completely out of reach of the respondent. And we invite you, especially on account that you make the finding that the applicants, the police have the capacity and the power to take control and possibly block the accounts used by the respondent. That amounts to a correct finding that he will not be able to interfere with the investigation, and that they have their equipment, the equipment from the respondent. We kindly urge you, therefore, to reduce that cash bill from 500,000 to either a free bond of the same amount, that is personal cognizance of that amount, or 50,000 shillings cash bill. As we speak, none of us is making earning a living. We are living hand to mouth, except for those who are in government employment.
Does not have to.
Unless we are doing pro bono work for the state. So I very happily and most respectfully ask that you reduce that cash bill to about 50,000. We will go some around here and see if we can raise it. 500 shillings is as good as detaining in drinking. And something I need that a clarification probably I need to get properly is this daily report. You say daily to report daily to the investigating officer. Now there is a problem. if he is unable to raise the 500,000, he will be in custody in prison, and therefore there will be fiscal difficulty, actual difficulty of visiting the IO every day, and that will put him in a situation where he will be in default contempt, and that will escalate a bad situation and make it worse. So perhaps if you will revise your bail conditions so that he is able to meet them, we can then see about this reporting. And perhaps daily reporting to the IO is again difficult for two reasons. One, we don't know the IO's schedule. Two, there is COVID protocols from the Ministry of Health which seeks to reduce as much as possible physical contact, whereas the IO is able to perhaps make arrangements for social distancing, but that escalates the opportunistic nature of the COVID virus, which either it might get or it might distribute to the officers. So perhaps considering the nature of the investigation regarding social media, because this is not a question of theft or murder, social media, they can investigate. Internet never forgets anything. You can't delete things and they disappear. They can. The investigation is actually virtual based. So they, in my very humble and respectful submission, they don't need his physical presence to continue investigating unless it's going to be compelled to be talking, and therefore, again, I don't know what the submissions we made yesterday about letting his rights to silence. So I would also request that perhaps if it is the court's view that he should be reporting, perhaps once weekly for the next 2 weeks as they do, meaning visiting the IO twice before we report to you in court on 20th. Thank you.
On FNA, council is asking for a bit too much. Your ruling did not say that we do not have a case. Our application was with respect to detention days, which has been declined. And that does not mean that the state does not have a case. We came under non-law, which the court has appreciated. And therefore, your ruling clearly states that we charge the respondent within a reasonable time, which we shall do. And for council to ask that reporting to the police daily for 10 days is too much. We were seeking for 10 days and 14 days, and the reason why we sought for 14 days, and we had a reason for it. So it is not too much for the respondent to report daily at the police station for the next 10 days. His liberty has not been curtailed, and there is no evidence that COVID-19 regulations are not going to be adhered to. And in case they are not adhered to, they have the liberty to come and report to the court. As for the cash bail that has been awarded, has been given, Your Honor, I believe the court has made a determination considering the nature of the offense, and as you rightly put it, Your Honor, the public opinion that it generates, which affects the entire country. I find it is in order, and they give it to court to consider the same. Otherwise, be okay with the order that the court has granted.
157, the DPP is has authority to initiate a criminal charge without direction or 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 or, or sorry, let me just make a quick reference to it. Sorry. 157. Yes, the 157 Article 6B, the DPP has power to initiate criminal proceedings which is undertaken without the permission or authority of any other person. So it is improper for my colleague to suggest that you have directed them to initiate those criminal proceedings. So far as we are before you today, there is no criminal
That
charge.
is not right and should not go for record. You're not directed anyone.
I rejoined on issues that have been raised.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That she said that they will charge because you suggested that there is a charge. What they are doing now, this application was premised on an ongoing investigation. When the police investigate, they might find that there is no offense. So we cannot presume that there is an offense for which he will be charged today, as she's promising that they will charge. So that is being presumptuous. Secondly, asking the respondent to be reporting to the police, the investigating officer daily, means that he takes away his opportunity to make a life elsewhere. So that he stops doing other business to attend to the investigating officer who is investigating something that is on the internet. And the respondent does not control the internet. His liberty is actually taken away by the very fact of telling him, don't do anything else, come to the police station. The fact that what is alleged to have been stated by the respondent on the internet and it has influenced or has created a public opinion or public response, that public response has not been adverse to the security or safety of anybody. And therefore it's not criminal. So when my colleague says, considering the nature of offense, the nature of offense has not been disclosed because there is no charge. The investigation is not complete, so there is no offense. So it is improper for us to say we are now referring or discussing the nature of offense, yet there is no offense, yet disclosed. Regarding my colleague's response to the request to reduce the cash bail, I think anybody, and I am grateful you pointed out to us that you are a citizen as well, beyond being a judicial officer. I am sure that in the deepest of your heart and understanding, you know that the economy is bad. People don't have money. If you sack all of us here, you will hardly find anything with 10,000 shillings in the pocket. My colleague says she has, I asked her to lend me some. So I would request that indeed, very humbly, you consider that issue of the amount of money to be paid. And lastly, in terms of reporting, we request that if it's possible, you change that to virtual reporting so that we can find a way. You can come to my office and use my laptop and visit the IO virtually rather than physical appearances, because that will really help us in terms of dealing with the COVID issue. When my colleague says that we have no evidence about the COVID protocols, we know that people are actually dying of COVID. They have only recently, the former prime minister said in a public space that he has been keeping all the protocols but yet he got COVID. So how about then direct exposure? I think that that submission, we kindly ask you to review your ruling and revise downwards the orders made in terms of my requests. Thank you.
I have considered the application for review of my ruling delivered in open court and I find as follows. Number one, for clarity, the reporting of the respondent is to assist in investigations. The purview of those investigations, including where to report, is a discussion between the investigating officer and the respondent. They could meet anywhere they so wish follow COVID-19 protocols. So it does not limit them to meet in the police station. They can meet anywhere. Number two, in respect to the public opinion created by these investigations, I find that the cashback granted has considered all the outlined policy directives regarding bonds being granted. It is therefore reasonable. Number three, for clarity, should the respondent be unable to raise the bond terms issued, he shall be detained by the investigating officer at Central Police Station until the mention of the case. Number four, certified copies of the typed ruling to issued parties are cost. So ordered right copy of voting list. Thank you for your time.
Have you directed that the certified copies be provided on priority basis? Today, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. So, court is over. Okay. So, the court's ruling has been given. Proceedings are finished. Let's briefly get a word with Mutemi so that he can explain to us with his words what's happening. We're going to look for him now.
Because the government of anything should
The point I should not post anything based on loans. No, she was very specific. I should not post anything on loans.
That's what she said. Yeah. How can you freedom of expression?
That's gagging.
She's gagging without being invited by anybody, including the public is not invited to say gag him. It is me who say it is direct that we don't post anything. But she undertaken. And then she says that on our submission, we admitted that indeed there are 215,000 people who are commented on the petition. The petition is what's subject of anyway.
Would you be able to give us just a brief summary of the outcome?
Yes. First, let me say I am actually shocked at the tenor of the ruling. The first and most important finding she made was that the state did not produce any compelling reason and therefore dismissed the application in its entirety. Then she continued, she proceeded to give some very oppressive orders which are not founded on the request by the state. And therefore, it is my considered view that she was conflicted in terms of the law, which she upheld correctly that there were no compelling reasons, but she said she's also a citizen and observes. And therefore, at a personal or political view, she decided now to impose conditions that were not even requested for by the state. And even if they had been requested for by the state, the application having been dismissed, there was no basis to grant any other orders other than his freedom. So asking somebody to report to the police every day for 10 days, asking that he should be detained in event he doesn't raise 500,000 shillings, that is $5,000, isn't it? Where does one get that kind of money from this time when the economy is stagnated completely? Even we lawyers don't have that kind of any. even close to that kind of money. So I think it's oppressive. We are going to see whether we will be able to move to the High Court to have that advised immediately so that the High Court pronounces itself. And it's also shocking that she decided to rely on a single judge decision upholding the legality of that statute. Yet there is a bench of 3 judges who have heard, who directed that that law is unconstitutional. When there is a conflict of decisions, a magistrate should be bound by the decision of a majority of judges rather than a single judge. So I think she misdirected herself completely. She failed to even analyze the contents of the decisions we cited, except for that of Oscar Sudi. So she seems like she was sympathetic with the state, and that's why she decided to use her power rather than discretion. I think this is just being used judicial muscle to say to hell you and appeal if you want 14 days. After all, by the time we appeal in 14 days, the 10 days of reporting, and perhaps even more days of detention, if he doesn't raise that cash bail, will mean that he continues being detained. And why it's outrageous as a ruling, suppose they investigate and find that there is no offense, or by 20th, when we come for admission, they say we have not completed investigations, and he hasn't raised the cash bills. Does he continue being in detention while they are investigating? And suppose, like I asked her, suppose they find that there is no offense disclosed anyway. So that it's an oxymoron what she has done in terms of her logic plus her directives. They are completely contradictory to each other.
So where is the next step then? She mentioned the 20th of April. Is there anything before or?
Well, for us, I think we'll consult with my client whether he's able to raise that money or whether he has supporters who may be able to raise that money so that he's out. But certainly, we are going to approach the High Court to review and alter this and probably direct this magistrate on the correct position of the law.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Can I talk to you afterwards? Hi. So do you mind just talking to me for a minute? Hi. Are you here representing any organization or?
I'm here representing Article 19 Eastern Africa.
Article 19.
Yes,
Article 19. You're Sigi?
Yes. No, I am Gaki.
Jackie.
Okay. Yes.
So just tell me what's the involvement of Article 19 on this issue?
So Article 19 advocates for freedom of expression and opening up of the civic space in Kenya and in the Eastern African region generally. What Mutemi Kiama had been charged with is a very problematic law, the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act. We are currently in court appealing a decision which upheld the constitutionality of 26 provisions of this act. And we can see that this act has reintroduced, criminal defamation. For instance, what Mutemi Kiama has been charged with is almost, defamation of the president. False publication. Yet, its intention is to stifle critique of people who are in power. So, in the end, really, we will see a shrinking civic space in Kenya, and that's why we are appealing that decision, and we will go to the very highest court if it means so.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Let's see what happens. We'll stay tuned. Thank you. Okay, so I will try to summarize. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you for your patience. I hope all of that was clear. I'm going to give you a brief, quick summary now. So, yes, thank you for your patience. I hope you have gotten most of that. I was standing a little bit far away from the judge, so I hope the sound was clear enough. I'll just quickly run through the outcome. So the judge has decided that he has to pay a bail of 500,000 Kenyan shillings, which is something about $5,000, which, given the current economic climate and the situation of most people here, it is an awful lot of money. It's something that is not really easy to get or find in any way. So yeah, he's going to have to look for that money if he wants to stop being incarcerated. Otherwise, he's going back into the jail where he's been for the last couple of nights. Other than that, the judge also ruled that he has to visit the court. Actually, initially she said he has to visit the court daily to report. His lawyer argued that this was unreasonable. He had to make a living and had other commitments, and making him go there would also endanger him and others in terms of coronavirus regulations. And however, the judge in the end decided he did not have to come to court, but he still needed to report daily with an officer at an agreed place and time as they saw fit. And finally, they're going to have a final revision while they investigate. So they're investigating. They've taken his computer, laptop, phone, etc., and they're shutting down his Wanjiko Revolution Kenya sites, Twitter handles, and Instagram while they investigate. The lawyer made a good point, which was to say this is assuming that he's guilty rather than giving him the while the investigation goes ahead. Not assuming his guilt yet. So they are basically. His lawyer was not very happy with the ruling. There was a person here who I spoke to earlier from Article 19. It's an organization that defends freedom of speech, and they have supported Mutemi in the past when he was arrested previously, and a few years ago. And so they are working on it together with the lawyer, and hopefully there'll be other freedom of speech organizations as well helping. But yeah, it seems that this is a subject of much concern to the Kenyan government. The fact that citizens are unhappy and complaining about him asking for a loan to IMF, because they see this as the repercussions of this falling onto them as citizens. Yes, indeed, line is an awful lot of money for bail for posting a poster which, even though is I suppose is activist, it is also made with comedy, you know. And anyways, it's a very grey area, and here people can discuss, and we will see what happens as we go along. Right now, the court has finished the proceedings. Here we go. It's no, I'm gonna actually, I don't know if I can share my screen to show you the actual poster, the reason for all these court proceedings. It is on his Instagram, Wanjiko Revolution Kenya site, and it's a poster which imitates a public notice. It has a picture of President Uhuru Kenyatta on it, and I will read you again the text on it so that you can make your own mind about it. So I will attempt to go into the site again. I hope they have not yet closed it. No, not yet. I'm gonna take a picture of it just in case for my reference. Okay. Hi, sorry, just a minute. Can I help you? Of course, yes. Sorry, just talking to the press for a minute. 0768 114 740. Yeah?
Your name?
Nipigie tafadhali. Ninekane? Nekane?
Aronya Johnston, KBC.
Nekane.
Sasa
Unaweza nipigie?
let me call you.
Okay, sawa.
What is your name?
Uko nayo? Nekane. Nekane.
Haya,
Sawa.
Sawa.
Unafanya kazi kwa
KBC.
KBC? Oh, nimefurahi kukutana. Tutaongea.
I'll be following you.
Asante. We're here live actually with the world on Hubs. It's a citizens journalism app, and we're just updating everybody on what's been happening today in court and what we are waiting to expect in the future.
I'll follow you and then I'll be following you.
Okay, sawa. Tafadhali. Asante. Hi. Yes. So, sorry about that. This was a man who was filming next to me. He works for KTN, which is the Kenyan News Network. He was just following, so his footage will go on the main news. Along with me, he just wanted to know my contacts to stay in touch later and follow the case together. Maybe we can support each other with information. So sorry, to go back to, we were talking about the actual culprit of all this court case is this public imitation of a public notice into a poster with the name and ID number and photograph of the President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta. And the text reads, "This is to notify the world at large that the person whose photograph and names appear above is not authorized to act or transact on behalf of the citizens of the Republic of Kenya, and that the nation and our future generations shall not be held liable for any penalties of bad loans negotiated and or borrowed by him." So it's clearly stating their disagreement with the government taking up loans to help, theoretically, to help with the coronavirus and repay debts that have been mounting over the years, mostly with China, to do with big construction projects, etc. I will stay in touch with everybody involved, with Mutemi, with Article 19, with his lawyer, and if not before, let's see what happens. The lawyer just said that he is going to take this up to the higher court. So we will see what happens. Otherwise, the judge said the 20th of April they will reconvene following the completion of their investigations for a final verdict. For now, this is it. COVID situation in Kenya, right? Well, at the moment it's quite bad. We have gone into lockdown. We've been in lockdown for a couple of weeks now. It's a curfew at 8 p.m. From what I observe, I mean, I'm very, very, very pleasantly surprised that most people, as you have seen as well in the court and everything, everybody, even in the streets, wears a mask. Anytime you enter a place, your temperature is measured and you are asked to disinfect your hands. And this is followed thoroughly everywhere throughout. So it's good. They are also vaccinating by public order everybody above 58 years old for the time being. So vaccinations are going ahead. It will take a while, obviously, but they're on it. They're on it. So yes, I think this is it from me for today. I will be back. I will try to warn you with a bit of time on when the next proceedings happen, or if I am able to talk to anybody regarding this case along the way. And yes, thank you so much for following. Thank you so much for. I hope this is a story of interest for people out there, given the fact that it touches on so many rights, civilian rights and freedoms, not just freedom of speech, but also of having an opinion on how our governments deal with our finances at a national level, at an international level as well. Yes, it was also very interesting. Let me please show you rather than my face. Much more interesting. the court that was set up to be outside, to be open to the public, outside the actual court building, which is this one that you can see here. Okay, and with that, I'm going to leave you for today. Thank you so much. I hope this has been informative, and we will continue informing on the before I leave. Yes, is Lynn? I wouldn't say it's unsafe here. No, no more than any other country, to be honest. It's a situation that we all have at the moment with COVID, and yes, I think anybody who is an activist who voices opinions against the government in any country generally is going to have, when they touch on a sore point, this will always have some kind of repercussions. But it's good that we are here as the media to keep an eye on it and to keep the proceedings in check and to make sure that the law is adhered to, and well, I guess that's our role. I'm happy to do so. Thank you so much again, and until soon. This has been Mekane Othamith reporting from Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you.